Aruna Mataji.
Aruna Mataji, can you please raise your hand?
Aruna Wazirani Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Aruna Mataji.
Yes,
Aruna
they
Mataji,
mean.
please raise your hand. Yeah. Aruna. Yes, Prabhuji. Okay. So we'll start Kirtan. Namao Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. So today we are in the 8th chapter. 8th chapter is Akshar Brahma Yoga, attaining the Supreme. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I think we can see the screen.
Yes, Prabhuji, see the screen and also hear you.
So Arjuna asks the question, the first two shlokas, because last chapter at the end Krishna said, having perfect knowledge, One can remember the Lord at the time of death and can achieve a supreme destination. He says Brahma, Adhyatma, Adideva, Adiyagnam. So Arjuna asks, what is this? Kim Brahma, Kim Adhyatma, Kim Karma? So this is a summary chart which gives what the Lord answers. So Brahman refers to uh, Atma, also refers to the partial realization of the absolute truth. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti Shabdyate. But here Krishna says Brahman refers to the individual soul, Jivatma, and Adhyatma refers to the eternal nature of the Jiva. We are not a temporary body, we are the spirit soul, and we are eternal. So that the nature, eternal nature, is called Adhyatma. And karma is the activities in the material world. It gives us different bodies. So Adi Bhuta is the material nature. Adi Daiva is the universal form which includes all demigods. And Adi Yagna is the Paramatma, the Lord himself. The Lord says Mam Eva. So that Paramatma in the heart is the Lord himself. So Krishna says he is the Adi Yagna. Yagna means the object of sacrifice, the enjoyer of sacrifice. So though Indra is also referred sometimes, but is administrative Devata, and the Lord is the real Yagnapati. And where does he reside? The Lord says the Adi Yagna, the Paramatma resides in the heart. Deha Dehabaram Vrata. Sarvasya Chaham Hridi Sannivishtaha. So Krishna says, I am also present in everybody's heart. So it's clearly stated that the Atma Paramatma is in the region of the heart. Sometimes people think it's in the region of the head somewhere. No, it's clear that it resides in the region of the heart. The first four verses, Krishna answers point to point what Arjuna asks for. What is Brahman? What is Adhyatma? What is Adibhuta, Adidaiva? Then the final question Arjuna asks, how to remember the Lord at the time of death? Because Krishna said in this last chapter that if one can remember him, then they can achieve perfection of life. So Arjuna asks this question. So again, Krishna repeats, yes, if one can remember me at the time of death, anta kale cha mam eva smaran muktva kalevaram yaha prayati samadbhavam yati nastyatra samshayaha. There is no doubt if somebody can fix his mind upon me at the time of death, he will surely come to me. So this is Bhishma Pitamaha, the great personality. Not only he has to remember, the Lord himself has personally come. So seeing him is quit the body. So there is no doubt that he achieved the supreme destination. Then this ahani hahani bhutani gachantiha yamalayam sheshah stavaram ichanti kim ascharyam ataparam. Hundreds and thousands of living entities meet death at every moment, but a foolish living being nonetheless thinks himself deathless and does not prepare for death. This is the most wonderful thing in this world. So this is an instance in Mahabharata when the Pandavas were living in the forest, when they felt very, very tired, very, very thirsty, and then they started searching after some pool of water. First of all, Sahadeva goes, then he sees a pool of water, but then the ear hears a voice saying that this pool of water belongs to him, and unless somebody answers the questions, he will not be allowed. So Sahadeva was so tired, he could not take note. So he drank the water, immediately became unconscious. Then after that, searching for Sahadeva and again searching for water, came Nakula, who also met the same fate. Then Arjuna, then Bhimasena. So we see all the four of them are lying there unconscious, almost like dead. Then finally, Yudhishthir Maharaj, Dharmaraj, he comes, and when that person, the Yaksha, he asks, he tells, see, this is what happened to your brothers because they did not uh, answer me. Yudhishthir Maharaj is a very righteous person. Even in such painful situation wherein his brothers have died, it looks like they are dead, and he's also so thirsty. So he still was patient enough to answer the Yaksha's question. The one of the question he asks is, "What is the most wonderful thing in this world?" The most wonderful. We have the seven wonders, Taj Mahal, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, Great Wall of China. So many things we have. Great wonders, big constructions, big. But The wonderful thing, what Yudhishthira says is, we have an experience every second, every moment. We are seeing so thousands of living entities around us. They are dying. Some ants are dead. Some insects are dead. So many of our relatives also keep dying. We see, or in the newspapers every day we hear, so many people died. So many. By corona now people are dying, we keep seeing, but somehow the illusory energy of the Lord is such that we think that we are not going to die. I think that I'll live here for millions of years. Somehow that uh, understanding that seriousness, we have something called smashana vairagya, just a temporary kind of, oh, this is the life, finally everything will be finished. We have some temporary feelings, but after that again we are back into our own old ways. So this is what is said to be the most wonderful thing. Wonderful thing. It is said we can uh, uh, even we pay thousands of rupees or millions of rupees, or we cannot get back a moment of our life. So it is so valuable. Every second of our life, every moment of our life is very valuable, because that thing which cannot be got by paying any amount of money. So it is so valuable. The time is so valuable. Time and tide waits for none. So then the Lord gives the principle of reincarnation, principle of what we achieve in next life depends on the our particular thinking, our frame of mind at the time of quitting this body. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajatyante kalevaram tam tam eva iti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavitaha. So whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, that state he will attain without fail. So there's so many desires, multi desires that we have cultivated all through the life. So that kind of a thinking predominates at a time of death. So that particular thinking, it the subtle body consisting of mind and intelligence that carries the soul to a new upcoming body. So that's how the science of reincarnation works. So our particular time of thinking. So it's just like the point of examination, how we perform. It is all the preparation we have done through the year, and those preparations decide our understanding, decide our mental uh, position. Similarly, it is said this our activities through the life will be decided at the examination of death, wherein a particular kind of thought will come, particular kind of uh, mental state will determine the next life. So here we find this great personality again, Bharat Maharaj. Bharat Maharaj, after whom our country is named as Bharatavarsh. So not only India, the whole world was called Bharatavarsh because they were the world emperors those days. And Bharat Maharaj, very young age, he left his family, wife, children, because he was so spiritually advanced. He had no attraction. It is said Malavat. He just left it like when we pass urine and stool, we don't care about it, though it is our own bodily part. We are least bothered about it. Similarly, he left this material connections in that mood of detachment. But still, later when he goes to the forest and he's doing his tapasya, he is so advanced that he said it almost achieved perfection. One stage below perfection, which is called bhava. There is final stage of prema, wherein there is no again coming down, but it was just one stage short, bhava. So in that stage he was thinking of the Lord. He was used to feel all the divine symptoms of tears in his body, so much happiness in remembrance of the Lord. He was liberated. But then again, one day we see that he is taking bath in the river near his ashram, Pulaha Pulasya ashram. There is a river flowing, and he sees a pregnant deer also having come there to drink some water. So then the mother deer hears some loud roaring by a lion or a tiger, and it feels terrified. And in that terrified condition, it tries to cross over the river, but then there is a childbirth, and the baby falls into the river, and the mother deer crosses over and goes away, and it also dies. Many times, childbirth, there is a chances that happens. So Bharat Maharaj is witness to all this. So, well, like any other gentleman, what he will do, it took out the small baby deer, and he started taking care. So there was nothing wrong in taking care, but he got so attached to the deer, which he could have otherwise carried on in his family life. He has left his wife, his children. So at one point, he felt so detached that he retired from family life. But now again, he is getting attached. He got so much attached to the deer that when he's doing his normal religious rituals, he's always thinking about the deer. He's doing physically, but his mind is on the deer. So much attachment. Oh, where is my son? He used to call the deer as my son. So any pet is generally it is taken care like that as a child. So he used to have the same feelings, and this went on so much so that one day the deer has gone to the forest. So deer has its own activities, so it is doing. So Bharat Maharaj is waiting evening, still the deer has not come back. So he is very very anxious. Where is the deer? Where is the deer? Where is my little deer? So he goes searching after the deer, and here we see finally Bharat Maharaj happens to fall into a pit, deep pit, and he leaves his body. So as per this principle being spoken here, so and when he's leaving the body, interestingly, the deer also comes. He makes its appearance. So the Bharat Maharaj sees the deer and he leaves the body. So as per this, he next takes a deer body. So that's what we hear. Bharat Maharaj, such an exalted personality, but just to show as a lesson, the Lord, that we cannot take advantage, we cannot be relaxed, or we are devotees. No, so Krishna created. Otherwise, generally, for a devotee, at least human birth is guaranteed. But this was a special case wherein, as a lesson to all the devotees, general, to for all the time to come, Krishna created a situation. But not an ordinary deer. He took birth as Bharat Maharaj, the deer which could remember the previous life. The deer which knew that in previous life I was the great King Bharat Maharaj. I was the son of King Rishabhadeva. Rishabhadeva was incarnation of the Lord. So such good parentage. Every way he was qualified. But still, a little slip, he had to get the body of a deer. He remembered his previous life, he remembered his previous devotional activities. He immediately left the deer society to associate with the sages who used to live in an ashram in the previous life where he was staying. So he used to just eat the remnants, the prasada, what the sages were giving, and again started doing the devotional process in the body of a deer. So just waiting to quit the body. Then the third life, he comes again to human form. That is the story of Chada Bharat. The story of Chada Bharat we find in the Bhagavatam, the Bharat Maharaj story. So, but this time, though he is taken birth as a human being, he's so careful that he starts behaving very, very abnormally. He starts behaving as if he is mad, dumb, deaf, nothing. Somebody thinks he's a madman. So he behaves like this, so that this time he wants to see that there is no chance taking any chance again. Yes, he can continuously execute devotion service, and he can go back to. He's already achieved the stage, but just waiting for the Lord's indication to, because finally it's the Lord's mercy, Lord's approval that one goes back to Godhead. He's just waiting. So that's the story of Bharat Maharaj, who later became a deer, then finally Jada Bharat, and went back to Godhead. So just a lesson for us, that how the moment of death, whatever we think, whatever we act, whatever we do, all through our life, decide the final mental status, and that mental status determines the next life. So this is the general principle how it works. We say karma. Yes, karma determines our mental status, what mental state we are in. So if we are doing, uh, whatever punya karma, papa karma, akarma, depending on that, we have a particular mental status. So if we have a punya karma, we will think of some heavenly thing, and we will, because we have that punya, we will be given that body. If we have a lot of papa karma, we'll accordingly think of something, and as per that, that will be allowed. But if we think of Krishna, we will be transferred to the spiritual body. We get a spiritual body and will be transferred to a spiritual body. That's why Krishna says, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mamanusmara yudhya cha mayyarpita manobuddhir mame vaishyasya samshayah. Tasmat means it's the conclusion whenever this word is used. Therefore. So Krishna is giving the conclusion. Therefore, what we have to do? What is our course, the best course of action? Arjuna, you have to always think of me. Krishna says, you have to always think of me all the time. Satatam smartavya Krishna, vismartavya na jatuchit. It is said, always we have to remember. Never, always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. So that is the basic principle. Every other principle is the servant to this principle. This main principle. So Krishna says, always think of me. So Arjuna is a warrior, is a fighter. So Krishna says, yes, you do your duty. You think of me and you do your duty. Mam anusmarayita. Krishna doesn't say just only think of me. Krishna also says you do your duty. Everybody has a duty in this world. So Arjuna being a warrior, being an administrator, he has the duty of fighting. So Krishna is telling you fight and you think of me. You do both. You put your mind, you put your intelligence on me and you work. So it is very important to train the mind, to train ourselves, to remembering the Lord at the time of death. So this happens, this remembrance of the Lord comes by chanting the Lord's names. So Krishna is telling you have to remember me, so that remembering the form as such is very, very difficult. But this practice of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, it forcibly drags the mind to think of Krishna, to focus the mind on Krishna. So as this is practiced, as this is the next shloka, Abhyasa yoga yuktena chetasa nanya gamina paramam purusham divyam yati parthan chinte. Abhyasa yoga. This is the practice, is abhyasa. So what Krishna is telling, think of me. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, kirtaniya sadahari. So Krishna says, always think of me. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says the same thing. Always chant the names of Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada also says, sevaniya sadhari. Always serve Krishna. So these are the practices which help us to think of Krishna. So if we paramam purusham yati, so yoga yuktena. So the practice of chanting, that is the method to remember the Lord and to successfully pass this examination of death. So we hear the ideal example, Bhakta Prahlad Maharaj. He was always thinking about the Lord. So he's the best example. Continuous remembrance on the Lord. So Smaranam. So yes, all his class friends were the sons of the demons, but they were also converted to become devotees by the association of such exalted Prahlad Maharaj. Then this instance of Ajamila. Ajamila is an instance given in the Bhagavatam again. He was in the initial days a very pious Brahmana. His father was a Brahmana, trained him also as a Brahmana. So he was involved in the puja, worship, study, everything. But once so happened one day when his father sent him to the nearby forest to collect some flowers and fruits for the deity, for the Lord. He went for the Lord's service. But then he saw a low class man and woman embracing, kissing, engaging in sexual activities. So this was not there in the Vedic times. This was a different time. But Ajamila, young man, got attracted. So, and so much attracted that later he brought this woman, the prostitute, as a maid servant, and then got so much attached to her. Then he drove away his own wife, married wife, religious wife. Then he deserted his parents. Then, in the company of the prostitute, engaged in all sinful activities. So he was involved in stealing. He was involved in gambling. He was involved in everything, whatever we can say. A typical sinful person. Ajamila became a personification of that. And then the life went on for so long. At the age of 88, the Bhagavatam says, Ajamila got a small child at the age of 88, and he names the child as Narayana. So it was the Lord's mercy upon him. The Paramatma gave him the remembrance to name the child as Narayana. As any father is naturally attached to the child, particularly the youngest child, Ajamila kept calling, Narayana, come here. Narayana, take this food. Narayana, sit here. So he is calling his son, but he is unconsciously also chanting the name of the Lord. So it is said the purification has already started when he's chanting the Lord's name. That was the culture, Vedic culture. That's why we were given the names of our parents, grandparents. They had the culture of giving their children's name after the Lord. So anyway, this purification started, and now the real time of death comes. The real time of death comes. We see people having so much pain, so much difficulty. We all have to go through that. We all have already gone through in many lives. So it is said, Ajamila could actually see the Yamadutas coming. Yamadutas are messengers of Yamaraj. They are the Yamaraj is the chief justice and his constables. So they are there. It's not that nobody is there. We cannot see. No, they are there. The administration is there. So they came. Having seen them, Ajamila was very, very frightened. He immediately understood. I've become so sinful. Now great punishment is awaiting me. So in that helpless state, he remembered his son out of attachment. The most contemplated object we remember. So he remembered his son and he called Narayana. Actually, he first of all remembered his son, but when he called the name of the Lord, he also remembered the Supreme Personality, Narayana, because he was originally the devotee of the Lord. And he thought for a moment, what can my child do? He's after all a small child. If the original personality, Supreme Personality, if he is merciful upon me, just a small prayer, that thought, it is said, here we see the messengers of Lord Vishnu, the Vishnu Dutas, they came and they stopped and they said, stop. They prohibited the Yamadutas from going forward, arresting him and taking him. So then there ensues a very nice conversation wherein Vishnu Dutas convince the Yamadutas, cannot convince, they drive them out. They say, they give the arguments. Yamadutas start feeling, who is it? We are the persons who are taking care of justice. We are the persons who are taking care of who should be punished, who should be. Yamaraj is giving us orders. But who are these personalities? From where they have come? So then they finally go back to Yamaraj and they start questioning. So are you the authority or there is somebody else? So this portion very nice. There is a book called Second Chance. We can also read that online. We can read Second Chance. Very nice book. It is extract from this Bhagavatam, this portion. How then the Ajamila, both of them vanished. It's not that Ajamila was immediately taken by the Vishnu Dutas. Then Ajamila started feeling, really, is this kind of a dream or what really happened? But he started remembering the dialogues between the Vishnu Dutas and Yamadutas. And again, he felt himself so much repentant. What have I done? I had my aged parents, I had my wife, I gave up all of them. And just for my own sense gratification, I involved myself in so many sinful activities. Here is he repented, started repenting. And at that time, he leaves this house and goes to Haridwar. This instance happened in Kanauj. Kanauj is a modern Kanyakubja. The name is said Kanyakubje Dvija Kashchit Dasipati Ajamila. This was the uh, history narrated. Is in modern Kanpur. So from there he went to Haridwar, and in Haridwar he again practiced devotional service to the Lord as he had done in his childhood. And now, having done the devotional services, the same Vishnu Dutas who had come to uh, give him a second chance. They come in the spiritual airplane, the Vaikuntha Vimana, and take Ajamila. Now he's got a beautiful spiritual body. Back to home, back to home. So this story is narrated by Shukamuni in the Bhagavatam to illustrate the supermost importance of the bhakti, particularly the chanting of the Lord's name, as the best means to achieve perfection in life. So successful means to quit the body. So this is mentioned in the Bhagavatam, this instance. There is a time at the end, I think we can see there is a puppet show. So devotees have done, so we can see that. So the Lord is saying again, one should meditate upon the Supreme Person as the one who knows everything, as who is the oldest, who is the controller, who is smaller than the smallest, who is the maintainer of everything, who is beyond all material conception, who is inconceivable, who is always a person. So Krishna is a person. So this is the way to think about the Lord. The impersonal manifestation of the Lord is his subordinate feature. So the final feature, the original feature of the Lord is a personal feature. He is luminous like the sun, and being transcendental is beyond his material nature. So Devatas, Brahma, Shiva, they are also always thinking about the Lord, always meditating on the Lord. Then the Lord says that okay. मामुपेत्य पुनर्जन्म दुःखालयम शाश्वतं नाप्नुवन्ति महात्मान samsiddhim paramam gatah. So like this, if anybody quits the body, remembering the Lord at the time of death, Krishna says, he will come back to me, never again to come back to this material body. So never again, because this world is a place of misery. If not one, another one. If not the other, another one. Something or the other will come. So particularly Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi. Janma, the birth, 9 months in the mother's womb. It's a suffering. Then Mrityu, we are suffering because we have to give up all our all our things. Forcefully we have to give up all our possessions. Even our own body we have to give up. It's a very painful time, painful experience. Then there is the old age. so many problems. Then diseases, another. So continuously problems. The life is such that we are going through only problems, and just some temporary solution of these problems, if we take it as happiness, we are happy. But otherwise, it's continuously problems. So Krishna says, you come to me, you'll never again come back. The Lord says that whatever destination we achieve in this world, we go to the highest planet in this world, the Brahma Loka. We are not aware, the scientists are not able to make us know the existence of Brahma Loka. But Brahma Loka exists. It's in the material domain, and the fantastic lifespan we can never even dream of. Next verse, Krishna says, the lifespan there, the one day there is equal to over 8.6 billion of our years. The time is relative. The Brahma's one day is so big, and his lifetime comes to 311 trillion 40 million years. It's very huge time scale, and having so much opportunity for enjoyment, material enjoyment, but still it is temporary. In the eternal time scale, it is like a flash. Like it is said, so many bubbles are coming out of the ocean, and they are going inside. Similarly, in the eternal time, where Mahavishnu is bringing forth so many universes, the Brahmas, millions of Brahmas, creating Brahmandas, they are coming out and they are going like bubbles. So, whatever it is, anyway, this material world is a temporary place. It's not a permanent place. It's a place full of miseries. So, if we can realize this, we can understand this, then we become very serious in executing spiritual life. So Krishna gives the information now. Parastasmat bhavo anyo vyakto avyaktat sanatanaha. He says, beyond what you can see and what you cannot see. We are seeing some planets, some stars, trying to understand what they are, how they are. But Krishna says, beyond that, there are so many things which you cannot see. Vyakto avyakta. There exists my eternal abode, the spiritual world. Having anybody going there, they will not come back. That is my supreme abode. So the Krishna's supreme abode, the Vaikuntha Lokas. In the Vaikuntha Lokas, the Goloka, the planet where the Lord himself in the form of the Lord as Krishna is situated. So Krishna is inviting us to come to that place. And Krishna says, we go to that place, then we don't have to come back. And there are so many descriptions in the Brahma Samhita, Bhagavatam. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna gives a glimpse, Krishna gives a brief introduction to that spiritual abodes. But Bhagavatam, Brahma Samhita gives a detail. Chintamani Dhama. It is called Chintamani Dhama. Every there is nothing like stone. The stone is touchstone, the greatly valuable stone, not the ordinary what we have here. So Chintamani, and then Chintamani Prakarasadmasu Kalpa Vriksha. It is all made up of wish fulfilling trees. Kalpa Vriksha means it can give us anything. Actually, there is no desire for any living, it is there. They are completely full with themselves, satisfied. But still, if anything is there, or if any way they want to serve the Lord, there are these wish fulfilling trees called Kalpa Vriksha which can give us. Kalpa Vriksha. Then Surabhi Palayant. There are these Surabhi cows, not ordinary cows, special cows. Krishna keeps cows. Krishna doesn't keep, like here we keep the dogs. Krishna's pet animal is cow. So millions of cows. Surabhi Palayantam. Lakshmi Sahasra Shata Sambrahma Sevyamana. And there are millions of Lakshmis ever ready to serve the Lord. Here we are trying to get favor of one Lakshmi, but there are millions of Lakshmis always serving the Lord. So that is the position of Krishna in the spiritual world, in the Goloka. So Krishna gives this information in this portion of the Gita. He keeps giving again and again. 15th chapter also Krishna says, "Na tad bhasayate suryo na shashanko na pavakaha." There is no need of sun there. There is no need of moon because everything is self-luminous. So here we need a sun, we need a moon, we need all these facilities. But in the spiritual world, Krishna is personally there, and everything is there for eternity. So Krishna is inviting. Once we go there, there is no way for us to feel, yes, wanting to come here. So this is our destination. So this is a chart which depicts the planets thus in a way we can understand. I try to make it big so we can see this chart. So this is the spiritual planets. Okay. I should have made it smaller. Okay. Then there is the one form of the Lord called Mahavishnu, very huge form of the Lord, who from his perspiration creates this Karana Samudra, the source for all the material manifestation. So the Lord, having lying down in the water created by his own perspiration, by his own sweat, Mahavishnu, he breathes out unlimited universes. So from his not only nostrils, from his millions, from his skin pores, from his body, come out the universe as bubbles, as seeds. And each seed develops into a universe. So they are called like a golden eggs, like the Brahmandas. So one Brahmanda is depicted here. Yes. So there is a Mahavishnu. How much must be the size of Mahavishnu? We cannot even dream of. We cannot even imagine. Wherein from his bodily pores come millions of universes. We are in one such universe where we don't know which is the beginning and which is the end. But every universe is having a dimension. It is not unlimited. There are unlimited universes, so many. We cannot count so many. But each Brahmanda has a particular dimension. And the Lord further gives what is called Mahat Tattva. Mahat Tattva is a root material substance from which all the material elements come. Whatever we find here, Bhumi, earth, water, fire, air, ether, the 5 gross elements and 3 subtle elements, mind, intelligence, false ego, they are all coming from the source Mahat Tattva. So there comes actually here the activities of Lord Shiva, because directly the Lord Mahavishnu does not deal with the creation of material energy. It is Durga, Maya Shakti, which does. So Shiva being her husband, also Shiva again being another expansion of Mahavishnu for the purpose of the material worlds, he comes and it is said he fathers the living entities. For the material body, it is Shiva is said to be the father, but actually the soul is originally part and parcel of Krishna.
Prabhuji, we are receiving reports that the volume is slightly low. Could you please increase
Okay,
if it's
Prabhuji, yeah.
possible?
So this
And
is
I have posted the Goloka chart for the devotees
yes.
who would like to view it in a more detailed manner.
Yeah.
It is on the chat box.
Yes, Prabhuji. So we are just seeing here the manifestation of Lord as Mahavishnu. There are 3 Vishnu forms which who are responsible for the material universes. The first form called the Mahavishnu. The second form wherein the Lord enters every Brahmanda as Garbhodaka Vishnu. So here is one Brahmanda where the Lord entered and is again filled up almost half the universe by his perspiration. That is the Garbhodaka Samudra, Garbhodaka ocean, the Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu. And then it is from this Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu, Brahma is born. So we generally say Brahma is the creator. Yes, Brahma is the creator of all the planets within the universe. But the original creator is Mahavishnu, from whom Yasyaiva Nishwasita Kala Mathavalambya Jivanti Loma Vilaja Jagadandanata Vishnu Samahani Yasya Kala Vishesho Govinda Madi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So Mahavishnu is the original creator of the material universes. So Mahavishnu enters into each Brahmanda as a Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu, his own expansion. And then from his navel takes birth Brahma, who is a secondary creator. So there is the Brahma for every Brahmanda. Billions and trillions of Brahmandas, just like that is said, a bag of mustard seeds. So how many mustard seeds are there? Similarly, so many Brahmandas are there, so many Brahmas are there who are taking charge. So Brahma is generally a post. The most pious living entity in the universe qualifies to get that post. Sometimes when such a Brahma, such a pious living entity is not available, Vishnu himself takes the form of Brahma and he executes the function. But otherwise, generally, a topmost Jiva in the material universe becomes the Brahma. So this Brahma, we say, is a secondary creator. He's not the original creator, who then creates the different planets on the order of the Lord. Satyaloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, we are seeing 14 worlds here. They're all created by Brahma. And then again, one more manifestation of Garbhodaka Vishnu, which is called Kshirodaka Shai Vishnu. So he enters into everybody's heart as a Paramatma, as well as every atom within the universe. So we say Lord is everywhere. That is a form of the Lord Kshirodakashaya Vishnu. Yes, the Lord is there everywhere. That is his manifestation, is Kshirodakashaya Vishnu. Simultaneously, the Kshirodakashaya Vishnu is also present in his own planet within the universe, which is called Kshirasagara or Shvetadvipa. There is this, we have here the only the saltwater ocean, but different planets in this world have different kinds of waters, oils, ghee, milk. So we have this milk ocean in this one of the planets, which is called Shvetadvipa, where the third form of Vishnu called Kshirodakashai Vishnu. All these forms of Vishnu, the Lord is lying down on a bed of Ananta Shesha. So he's lying down. So he's responsible for this universe. He's called the maintainer. When we say Srushti, Pralaya, Sthiti, we say generally Trimurti. This Trimurti refers to Brahma, the secondary creator, then the Kshirodakashai Vishnu form of the Lord, who is the maintainer, and another form of Shiva, who is the destroyer. So Shambhu, he also has his presence in every universe. So as many universes are there. The example is said, just like milk turns into curd, but curd again doesn't turn back into milk. It maintains his identity. Similarly, Shiva is originally comes from Vishnu, but doesn't again merge back into Vishnu. He remains as Shiva. It's a Shiva Tattva. So we may become Brahma, but we can never become Shiva. Shiva's position is very exalted. So this is this Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. For every Brahmanda, there is a Brahma, there is a Kshirodakashai Vishnu, and a manifestation of Shiva for every Brahmanda. And of course, even there are another feature of Vishnu, Garbhodakashai Vishnu, is also there in every Brahmanda. So they are like this, there are unlimited universes, unlimited. So everything is unlimited in the creation of the Lord. So, Achintya. And every universe, our universe particularly here, it is said 14 planetary systems. We are in the middle planet system, which is called Bhuvar Loka, the earthly planet. Above us is Bhuvar Loka, Swar Loka, Mahar Loka, Jana Loka, Tapo Loka, Satya Loka. Below us, the different kinds of living entities who live there. The Vedic scriptures give a elaborate explanation of how far these planets are. So what are the kind of living entities living there, and what is the methodology for us to go there? There are so many Vedic sacrifices to please a particular deity on that planet, and we can go there. So it is there in the Vedic scriptures. It is not that it is some empty space for no purpose that is created. No, everything we create, we build some house, there is some purpose. We build some school, there is some purpose. We have an office, there is a purpose. So the Lord, it is not that there is no intelligent design. He simply accidentally put some planets, stars in space. No, it's only out of incomplete understanding we think like that. And every universe is so thickly covered. This is just a representation. Mostly half of the covering is covered. It's like a tight packing. We cannot penetrate this covering. It is so tight. The covering, the earth, water, fire, air, ether, the different coverings given here. One is 10 times than the previous layer. It's so tight, so thick the layering. That's why it is dark. By nature, this is dark. The Lord has done the sun, created the sun, which makes it luminous. Otherwise, it's by nature dark. Spiritual world is always light because the Lord is personally there. The bodily effulgence coming from his the Brahma Jyoti. It makes everything visible. So, in the spiritual world, the Vaikuntha Lokas, topmost loka is Goloka. That's what he said. Goloka namni nijadamni talecha tasya Devi Mahesha Haridama Suteshu Teshu. It's a Brahma Siddha says the lowest is the Devi Dama, where Devi Durga, she is in charge. So we are under the three modes of nature. We are in the material world. Above this is Shiva, Kailasa, Mahesha Dama. Above that is Haridama, Vaikuntha Lokas. The Lord is present in various forms as Narayana. Above that is Goloka, where Krishna is there in his original two-handed form. So this is the information given in the Vedic scriptures. So no way for us to understand by our own senses, by our own scientific approach. No, we have to accept the statements of the Vedas, the statements of great acharyas. Then only we can get to know something about this existence. So this depiction is coming up in our headquarters, Shridham Mayapur. So I think if time permits at the end, we'll post that video also, how that depiction is being shown there in the main temple room. There, that with a chandelier, they're showing this, how these different planets are situated. Okay, so in those spiritual world, the Lord is involved in sweet pastimes with his devotees. So Krishna in the Gita is inviting us to get back there. Just like a loving father always wants his children to be with him. Similarly, we are all lost children of Krishna. And Krishna is inviting us back to home, back to Godhead. Parastasmattu bhavo anyo vyakto vyaktat sanatana. So this chanting, this process of chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So it will lead us to that. So then Krishna, in this last section of this chapter, talks about different times one leaves his body, he achieves different destinations. Particularly people who are doing this yoga process. So how they have to choose this particular time in the Uttarayana, in the time of the moon, then in the time of the fire. So it is said there are various devatas, deities who are in charge of taking control when the soul leaves the body. So if it is auspicious time, one can merge into Brahman, the Brahman Jyoti. Otherwise, you can achieve higher heavenly planets and he has to come back. So Krishna talks about Shukla Gati, Krishna Gati, two ways of leaving the body for a person who is practicing spiritual life. But finally, Krishna says there's no need to worry for a devotee because Krishna himself personally takes charge about taking the devotee back to home, back to God. So then Arjuna is told by Krishna that you always remain a devotee. You don't have to bother what is the time of leaving the body. There is this famous prayer by great devotee, King Kulashekara Alvar. He says, Krishna Tvadiya Padapankaja Panjarantam Adheva me Vishatu Manasa Rajahamsaha Prana Prayana Samaye Kafavata Pithai Kantavarodan Vidau Smaranam Kutaste. So he says, my Lord, somehow or other I am able to remember you now. So great devotee, they always remember the Lord, but still they take a humble position of ours and they pray like this, that I'm able to remember you, I'm able to put my mind on you. But this may not be the case when actually the point of death comes, because point of death, we have the present state, at least present day situation, we see where even without that, in the ICU with so many machines, all making such noises, hardly until the last point of death, they are injecting, they are taking out blood, so many things. So whatever, whichever way, we die is a painful death is a painful time, and it is very difficult to think about the Lord. When the mind, when the intelligence, everything is falling, the senses, the body is falling apart, it's almost impossible. So he says better I leave my body now. So he's already prepared. The pure devotees, they can leave any moment, but we are not prepared. We are not prepared. So we have to prepare ourselves to remember the Lord, and then it may be possible. So here, finally, last verse, Krishna says, Vedeshu yagneshu tapassu chaiva dhaneshu yat punya phalam pradishtam atteti tat sarvam idam viditva yogi param sthanam upaiti chatyam. So this verse, Krishna says, anyone who accepts the path of devotional service, he will get the results of any other path. So there are so many paths, the yoga, the method of tapasya, the method of dana, the method of yoga, the method of gnana, karma, so many different methodologies, spiritual methods may be there. So Krishna says, somebody just applies himself to devotional service, he gets the result of everything. Just like our Prabhuji gives a nice example. Somebody gets a job, he's working for some company, suppose Infosys. Then he gets an offer from another company, TCS. They will say, we will match all your other company, what they used to give. We'll match the salary, we'll give you more. What already that is included, whatever you previously were getting. So it is like that. The employment with the Lord, the devotional service, that is a permanent employment for the soul. So not to change any other employment again, which is a natural employment. So we are eternal servants of Krishna. So Krishna says, having gotten that, you get everything. So one doesn't have to do any other method. Just sticks to devotional service. Even what he may be aspiring anything, that also is given, taken care of. Of course, devotees should not aspire for, but Krishna here clearly states that you just like you get some billion rupees, already means you are having million rupees, you are having 1,000 rupees. It already includes that. Similarly, devotional service is the highest perfection. So if we can achieve that, everything is achieved. So this is the chapter summary. The 8 questions by Arjuna, starting from Kim Brahma, Kim Adhyatma, Kim Karma, the Lord answered. The final question, Krishna kept developing that, remembering Krishna at time of death. So how the Yoga Mishra Bhakti, by chanting Omkara, they merge into the Brahma Jyoti. That also Krishna talked about. We didn't put these verses, but otherwise, the chanting of Omkara, it's the impersonal representation. The all-pervasive representation of the Lord that is already present in the chanting of Hare Krishna. So we don't have to separately practice that. We chant this Maha Mantra, that is enough. By practice of pure bhakti, chanting the Lord's names, one can understand the temporary nature of this world, the real nature of this world, then go back to Godhead. So, thank you, everybody. So, say, should I show the Goloka chart, that video? Prabhuji, we are posting that video, that different planets.
No, Prabhuji, we have not posted any video yet.
But I think generally you post, I think. I don't,
I'm not really aware, Prabhuji. I'm sorry. Which video is Prabhuji referring to?
different planets, TOVP.
No, Prabhuji, we have not posted it.
Should I show that? It's a 5-minute video.
Yes, Prabhuji, please.
When it comes to comedy, yeah, this is here. Maybe at the end, if people have time, we can show the Jamila puppet show. But let's say 15-minute one. But this is small, 5 minutes. I think we can all see this.